Hello and welcome back everybody to F124 My Team Career Mode. This is episode number 8 as we are heading to the Belgian Grand Prix of an amazing sprint weekend in the last episode at the Austrian Grand Prix, where we finished on the podium, and that's like an amazing result after dropping out of the points back in Spain. Now, it's been 2 months since I've uploaded anything. I've uploaded today. I'm uploading. It's still not 4 p.m., which is the time I'm going to be.
Straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-Francorchamps.
So as I was saying, I haven't uploaded in 2 months, and currently waiting for an upload to go up today at 4 p.m. Now, you would have already seen that episode by the time this one comes out, but a few setup changes for this weekend, as we are expecting rain on race day, so we're going to be running with a bit higher downforce than usual, and that could compromise us down the straight, but hopefully it should help us make up some time in the middle sector, which is a bit more technical, but hopefully a better qualifying session, not better. I don't even remember how well we performed in qualifying at Austria, but hopefully we managed to get ourselves up into the top 10 shootout of Q3 this episode, as we already began our first flying lap of this session. And looking at the speed, we haven't heavily compromised on our top speed with the higher downforce setup. It's not really that high of a downforce. I only went up like 2 degrees on the flaps, or something like that, as we're now heading to the end of the lap in the flat out sector 3, as we have in Aston behind us on a flying run. Also, I don't know who that is, but currently sitting at 10th. We haven't really set a lap time, but this is looking to be a very good lap time, as we barely have any wheel spin at the exit of the final corner, and we set the current fastest lap of this session. And that lap is enough to take us to Q2, a pretty decent lap, I would say. On one run, we managed to keep it clean, and we are second behind Max Verstappen. And unfortunately, our teammate has been knocked out and is currently going to be starting from last place on the grid. Now, a used tire run, as you saw over there, as we get a huge amount of oversteer. As we are beginning our first lap of Q2, our second lap of the entire qualifying session, still struggling with wheel spin at the exit of turn 1, as we are heading to Eau Rouge and Radion, flat out in qualifying. Most probably not flat out during the Sunday race, and definitely not going to be flat out during the Sunday race, as it's going to be raining. But a decent first sector, I would say. 31.6 is a pretty quick time on a used set of softs, as we head downhill now onto this long right-hander, and we transition very smoothly to the end of sector 2, as we're going to begin our sprint to the bus stop chicane. I was almost going to call it the Kemmel chicane. The bus stop chicane, that's the Kemmel straight I'm thinking about, as we are about to hit the braking zone, hard on the brakes, turning right and left. No oversteer, hopefully, at the exit over here, as we are stabilizing the car, keeping it straight and across the line. We are currently sitting in 4th, as Max Verstappen just set the fastest lap of the session, and by the time we start our second run of qualifying, we are down to 6th place. So far safe from being knocked out in qualifying, but just to be sure, we are out on a new set of softs to guarantee us a position in the top 10 shootout, as up Radion, up to, you know, up Eau Rouge we go, as we are looking to improve on our previous lap time, and once again, like I said, secure a spot in the top 10. The shootout a 31.4, that's a better lap time, a better sector time, sorry. Now we didn't finish the lap, as we are now 4/10 up on our previous run by the time we head through the final sector. We lose a little bit of time over there, probably ERS usage on our previous run is the reason behind it, but at the exit of the bus stop chicane we gain a whole lot of time, and that puts us at the top of the leaderboards for Q2 as we make it into the final session of qualifying with an extra set, if I'm not mistaken, with us. But we're just gonna, that's definitely not gonna help our lap time, as we're gonna be using 2 new softs in this session. So this is the first set of new softs that we're gonna be using, and we're gonna try to get ourselves on the front row, hopefully, as the performance shows that we are capable of doing that at the moment. In the past 2 Q1 and Q2 sessions, we were able to make ourselves at home on the front row provisionally. We don't know what would happen in a qualifying session, and as you can see over here, we kind of keep missing the apex at the end of the Camel Straight, and that could cost us a front row start, and hopefully that is improved as we kind of get our tires into the gravel a little bit over there, but not too much to upset the car's balance. As once again through sector 3 we go, provisionally a very good lap time from what I'm seeing at the top right over there, as by the time we reach the bus stop chicane it's a 1:38, and as we head down the pit straight it's a 1:45.0, which is a pretty decent time. We're only like 4/100ths of a second off whoever that was. I think it was pole position. So hopefully a good second run should guarantee us a front row start, maybe even a pole position, as we are now we began our final lap of the day to hopefully get ourselves starting on the front row. As let me sidetrack a little bit over here. We might expect, as we get a purple sector, and that's a pretty decent turn in over there this time, not too far away from the apex. We still missed it, and well, when you consider the way I drive, the apex is pretty far. The normal apex is probably what I'm hitting, but I'm not. I like keeping my line tight through that entry, so I optimize the exit of that corner, but it doesn't matter. I'm planning on making a different kind of video. Rainbow Six a Rainbow Six Siege video is in the works, maybe, possibly. I don't know when I'm gonna start doing it. There's a lot of content that I'm holding back, kinda, as we cross the line, currently sitting on the front row as I expected.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So we have Lando Norris, who is on pole position, and we are alongside him for the race start, and not that far off from pole position, as we are currently sitting 7th in the Drivers' Championship and 5th in the Constructors. Mind you, I scored all the points for the team, but then again, it is to be expected. Like, I don't know, there was a thing with teammates this season that it made them a bit poor, like a bit slower than what they actually seem to be, but this is like currently our progress in the season.
Welcome to this visit to the Ardennes countryside. Spa-Francorchamps hosted its first Grand Prix back in 1925, and this historic track is loved by drivers and fans alike. And us here in the commentary box too. So it's a warm welcome from the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps is a 4.35-mile tour of the Ardennes countryside, with 9 rights and 10 lefts, giving us a grand total of 19 corners. Average lap speeds in the dry can reach about 145 miles per hour, but without a significant improvement in the conditions, we're not going to be seeing anything like that today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, and the owner driver alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Sainz, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Albon, Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen, Sargent, Ricciardo, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Joe, and Arthur Leclerc. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
All right. A wet race, as I said earlier in the video, meaning we're gonna be running on inters for the entire race. As you can see on the top over there, the race is gonna be wet. Yes, I'm a very good weatherman. As starting from second place on the outside of turn 1, preparing for a formation lap, planning what am I gonna do if, say, I get a terrible start like always. I'm basically the Lando Norris of this simulation of F1 season, my team career mode. I never had a good history of race starts. No matter where I start, I always get a poor start, but that's probably because of my tire strategy decisions off the start. I always start on, I always did anyway, that's a thing in the past, where I started on hards, but then it paid off later in the races. So I mean, bad start but good result, which one's more important? You get me. But getting a decent parking here. Thank you, Mark. As we are waiting for the rest of the grid to form up. As we are gonna go racing once again. It's been 2 months, guys. It's a long time, uni and all that stuff. But it is 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go, as Lando Norris gets a pretty good start, as Verstappen also gets an amazing start from 3rd place right behind Lando as he gets alongside and going to turn 1. We go round the outside of the 2 drivers as we make our way up into 1st place. Now, I don't know if we ran in 1st place off the start. I don't know even if whatever. Anyway, as we see a bit of shuffling going around over there with the 2 Ferraris, George Russell as well involved in that scuffle, as we drop down to 3rd place, probably due to a snap exiting the uphill of Rouge, as we are still struggling for traction over there, and we are dropping behind Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, as Verstappen has taken the lead of the race, and we have Russell and Leclerc fighting for 4th place, as Russell makes it up into 4th momentarily, as he is down the inside of Leclerc, but Leclerc stays ahead and secures himself a spot in 4th, as Piastri is just hanging on behind the 2 Ferraris and the Mercedes of George Russell, as we are slowly getting into a good rhythm. Probably a little bit of help from the extra downforce from the setup change that we did before qualifying, and round into the final sector towards the bus stop chicane we go. Verstappen leads Lando Norris and ourselves in 3rd place, where Leclerc and Russell complete the top 5, as we are ready to begin our second lap of this race, with Verstappen setting he was in the lead of the race, obviously. He did set the fastest lap. So 2 minutes 2 seconds. It still shows that the track is a bit on the wetter side. It's a bit more drenched than what normal intermediate should be for, in my general knowledge. But I guess we do what the game asks us to do, as already very low down on the battery, trying to keep up with the top two. And Leclerc closing in on us, but not close enough, and especially not in these wet conditions where he's going to think about an overtake. And that's what I meant, by the way, about keeping a tight line going into that corner. That's what I like doing anyway, as we set the fastest lap, and that's a proper representation of what lap times are possible in the current conditions, as we are going up Eau Rouge right behind Lando Norris, who is pretty close ahead. We could actually probably mount an attack on him going towards the end of this long straight, but Leclerc had other ideas, and he is now alongside us going into the right-hander, but we just swoop round the outside and maintain our position up in third place. And yeah, that literally thwarted all our plans, as Mark just confirms that we're gonna have rain pretty much the entire race. When he says for a while, that means there's no stopping. It's gonna keep raining until the race ends, or unless there's a red flag or something to interrupt and delay the end of the race. That's probably the only way, as Lando Norris is the car ahead. We go into the bus stop chicane down the inside of Lando Norris. We make a bit of contact, a bit of wheel banging, assuming as no damage for either side, as we make our way up into second place. And now we have a 1.5 second deficit to make up to Verstappen ahead, as we set the fastest middle sector once again. And again, it shows that our setup change has benefited us in the technical section of sector 2, as we set another fastest lap of the race once again. Grip is improving, but as soon as I say that, and I almost go sideways into the gravel, as Verstappen pulls away once again thanks to our mistake. But see, I was keeping an eye on that accelerator indication. I don't know, the pedal, the green bar on the bottom over there, to see if I was like lifting a lot going up the hill. And yes, like I said, it's definitely not flat out just yet. We might get an opportunity to go flat out in the rain up the hill, maybe. I definitely did go flat out at some point, as round the outside, that's the idea, around the bus stop chicane on Max Verstappen, and that's us in the lead of the race. But can Verstappen get back at us going into turn 1? I seem very not enthusiastic, but that's because it's been a while, and this is like a thing with me when I don't make videos for a while, so I just lose the energy to be energetic in videos. I'm trying to save it for other times of the day, as up Eau Rouge we go, as Verstappen is pretty close behind, could possibly make a move on us on the exit of the Camel Straight, entry to the right left, but we defend properly. We park our car on the apex pretty much, and a snap of oversteer over there. Still struggling for grip sometimes, but that's just us being over enthusiastic on the throttle pedal, as we end lap 7 still ahead of Verstappen, and almost 4/10 off our best lap time, so we were kind of pushing. And then once again, lap 8, we are in purple middle sector. We're kind of pulling away from the rest of the field, myself and Verstappen, as he's the only one close to a second behind, and you know, if DRS was allowed in the wet, that would be very wild. But yeah, if DRS was allowed, then Verstappen would probably have more chances in overtaking us down the pit straight and the camera straight, as almost we just did a small lift over there, you know, just to keep the car balanced going up the steep hill, as we turn our attention to Lando Norris, who has dropped down behind Leclerc. Seems to have a mechanical issue, as Russell just goes around the outside, and Lando Norris is going to be retiring from this race, as he is facing mechanical issues that I have no knowledge of. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Lando, as he was competing, you know, for the podium position. And yeah, that's unfortunate. Don't care, it's my race and my video, I don't give it. Anyway, we skip all the way up to the final lap of this race, as wet races sometimes bring no entertainment. That is definitely a lie, and I just angered so many people who enjoy watching wet weather races. But yeah, you see that I was doing that flat out, that's for sure. You saw the way I was sliding up the hill. Anyway, we are on the wetter part of the track, just to keep Verstappen out of our slipstream and not to give him any ideas of, oh, another snap of oversteer at the exit of the ramp, and another one right there. We're just giving people a drift show, apparently, as we are not comfortably in the lead. Like, I mean, if we were in the lead by like 20 seconds, then yeah, okay, you know, a little drift here and there would be nice, but we're literally like ahead by 3/10 at best, as we go around turn 10. Not flat out, obviously. I'm just gonna be, I don't know why I did this in the editing part of the video. This is unnecessarily long. I need to have a talking to with myself about how I edit these videos, as this is taking a bit too long, as Verstappen is definitely not gonna overtake us. I mean, it is very hard, and plus I have a lot of battery left, so I can defend this in whatever way I want, as we are now in sector 3 of the track. Verstappen is pretty close, and he could probably make a last second move into the bus stop chicane, but we are gonna deploy the battery, I think, because of the rain light, I can't tell, but we are ahead at the bus stop chicane, and we come out ahead, as we are now gonna go and cross the line to take victory in Belgium. This is our first win of our My Team career mode, and hopefully one of many, as a pretty good race. We made up for our mistake at the beginning where we dropped down to third, and what a not comeback drive, that's an amazing drive, as we win the Belgian Grand Prix.
Race victory and fastest lap as well. You can see how much, by the way, that fastest lap mattered to them today. It's a bit like marking your territory, isn't it, Crofty? They're looking for absolute dominance, and this seems to be their mission this year.
A show-stopping performance from the three drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Alright, so a few things before we get this video done. We're gonna move to the standings and observe, as we are currently sitting third in the Drivers' Championship and fifth in the Constructors. A A result like that would have pushed us up many positions, as it's currently time to renegotiate with our current teammate, Arthur, Mr. Leclerc himself, as probably gonna have a different teammate next season for a better chance at the constructors. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you haven't done so, and have a nice day.